Next week's play, Why Do They Call It Good Friday, comes from BBC Scotland and tells the story of 10-year-old Danny Brennan and how the miracle of the resurrection is reinterpreted in his mind during the Easter service and becomes instead a fantasy about an injured pigeon which had been left in his care. That's at 9:40 next Sunday evening.
I don't think I'm going to reach 21 at the moment. I've taken several overdoses just through feeling totally hopeless.
Why does a lovely young girl get to the position when she feels utterly hopeless and thinks she's going to die by the time she's 21? The answer is she's a heroin addict. And she's one of the 2,000 drug users and their families who've taken part in the largest survey of its kind ever done in this country into all kinds of drugs. They've done it to try and help other young people. And their stories and perhaps some of the answers will be told in Drugwatch.
That's Drugwatch, next Sunday at 7:15 on BBC1.
On BBC1 now, Choices looks at social work and the social worker and asks if it is the care which clocks off.
Good evening and welcome to Choices. This evening we're going to look at the dilemmas which confront two categories of people, the do-gooders, paid social workers and their clients. Before 1914, doing good was largely unpaid and the privileged of the overprivileged. The country squire went hunting foxes while his lady wife went hunting the poor and needy in the depressed areas of our great cities. It was all too naive, all too ineffectual to last for long. With the arrival of the modern welfare state, every local authority with any sense of civic dignity and responsibility clamoured to get more social workers on the payroll. It was a status symbol, and there were hopes that it would reduce delinquency, buy off the poor, and get a few extra votes. But then disaster struck. The money started to run out, and a little girl called Maria Colwell was brutally murdered by her stepfather. At the time, she was under the supervision of a social worker. Much that has happened in social work in the 1980s has to be understood in terms of money, the shortage of it, and murder, child murder. And now we have in our society a new game that will soon be as popular as bingo. It's called Blame the Social Worker. Tonight I have with me a panel that will undoubtedly be seen as distinguished, who will be discussing the current choices facing the social work profession. On my far right is John Chant, Honorary Secretary of the Association of Directors of Social Services. On my right, Bishop Howard Tripp, former Director of Southwark Catholic Children's Society, now Chairman of its Board of Governors. And on my left is Kay Cornell of the National Association of Young People in Care. And on my far left, Lord Ennals, former Secretary of State for Social Services. First of all, I'd like to ask the audience one or two questions. Would all